let's continue with 6.3 skills practice. Here we're gonna use the elimination method. So I'm gonna write that out here. We'll be using elimination. So this is elimination method. It's a little different from substitution. Here I'm gonna line up my variables. So X lines up with X, Y lines up with Y, and my constants line up together. Same here, X with X, Y with Y, constants. Okay. Now when solving these, once we got them lined up, which I think your book, yeah, the homework lines them up for you. But once you have them lined up, I like drawing a little line here and pretending like I'm just going down the line here. So X plus X, right? I'm just adding these. X plus X, because both of these are positive X's, I get 2X. Now I have a negative Y plus a Y. That ends up being 0, okay? Then we have equals a positive 1, positive 3, that is a 4. Divide here by 2 to get rid of that 2. And I'm left with X equals 2. Now, once I know this, I can plug it in back to one of these equations and solve for Y. Let's plug it into this bottom one. Okay, so I'm going to do that one in a different color here. So X equals 2. So instead of writing X, I'm going to write 2. So 2 plus a Y equals 3. And again, this is this equation. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides so that this ends up being 0. And I'm left with Y equals 1. And those two are my answers, solution. Let's move on to this one. I got them lined up. I'm gonna draw this line. I'm gonna say positive 2X plus a 4X, that's 6 X's, okay? Now I have a negative 5Y plus a 5Y. This is the variable that cancels, okay? Equals a negative 28 plus a 4, that is negative 24. I'm gonna divide by 6 here to both sides so that I can have X by itself. That is equal to a negative 4. That is my X. Now I'm gonna plug that into this bottom equation and I'm gonna solve for Y. So I'm gonna do that in a different color here. So I know my X. So I'm gonna write this out, and instead of writing X, I'm gonna write negative 4. So 4 times a negative 4 plus 5Y equals 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16 plus 5Y equals 4. Now I'm gonna combine like terms. I'm gonna bring my constants together and leave the Y by itself. So for me to bring this over to the other side of the equation, I have to make this 0. And the way I do that is by adding 16 to both sides. This becomes 0. And I have 5Y equals 20. I divide by 5 to both sides. And I'm left with Y equals 4. So those will be my 2 answers for problem 16. Hopefully this helps. Solve the rest of these problems on your homework.